Come on, welcome to the Pommy and Oz YouTube channel. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. And this might surprise you all. I've roped someone in to do a preview, and I went through my diary, like you do, the old filer decks, and I realised I've only got one name on there, Let Dog. So Let Dog, for the 8th time in 3 days. How are you doing?
I'm still well, mate. I'm still well, but very much enjoying the lead up to this pretend round of footy. And I've had in the background the Melbourne-Sydney game. It's just nice to have football back, you know?
It's nice, isn't it? It keeps us out of trouble, keeps us productive. And we're here to preview some actual real football. Carlton kick off tomorrow as you all flow in. And let's discuss as a group the key battlegrounds. So what we're looking for here is what you guys and girls, and you, Let Dog, more specifically, because you're on the show with me, where do you think this is going to be won and lost, this game up at the Gabbatoir?
Yeah, I think there's a few places we can look at. Look, I think the defensive side of our midfielders is probably where it's won and lost. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for both sides, kind of regardless. But if we can keep some pressure and limit their inside 50s, I think that's where we can win it. We need to protect guys like Lewis Young. We don't have the strongest backline we've named ever, and he wasn't amazing. And it wasn't just him, but our defensive structure wasn't amazing in the preseason. But I think that stems from the two-way running of our midfield. And without our best two-way runner, Sam Walsh, it's up to the rest of the guys to step up.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. I think this midfield as well. I think when people look at Carlton, they instantly assume, don't they, that we're a contested centre bounce, stoppage, clearance. That's where our crux is. And I think even with the injuries, even with Walsh out, we are in a privileged position, aren't we, that the midfield still looks pretty tasty. Doesn't, like, I know Walsh is a big player, but I look at that midfield that we've named: Patrick Cripps, George Hewitt, Matt Kennedy, Adam Chera, and then the players that you float through there: Cunningham, you'd imagine Fantasia. We saw him get a few minutes.
Hollands can play inside out.
Hollands, it's still quite sexual, isn't it? It still would be 9 out of 10 sports teams.
Yeah, I think the important thing is, it's you don't really see it until your depth is tested. But what you and I have focused on the last couple of off seasons is we're adding to this list of players where it used to be, if one of our, if a few of our best 24 players were missing, we were going to lose the game. Where now we've probably got like close to 30 guys, probably 30 guys who get games of football at most clubs. So we're seeing the benefit of that when you get to have Kennedy come in, when you get to name Doherty in the midfield, when you can have Fogue and Cunningham and stuff run through. I think it's a testament to the list build. Yes, we're weak in some parts of the ground, but I think being able to, Cripper's going to be able to rest forward at times, and then we'll still have Kennedy, Hewitt, and Chera in the midfield. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and a few people in the chat, I think this leads on to Peter V and Paul, who ask about defence, score from turnover. I think on the counter, another big part of Carlton's game has been how strong they are down the back. Last year being one of the top sides at rebounding against and repelling opposition inside 50s. They were very hard to score against. We've seen injuries curtail them, particularly to Whittaker, to a lesser extent, but still a big out in Caleb Marchbank. That's probably the area that looks on paper weak. But then I look at it, there's a lot of experience down there. Lewis Young has played in a side that was pushing for top 4. And arguably, according to Dogs fans, the last year he was there, they wouldn't have made finals if it wasn't for Lewis Young, because he put in some stellar performances. This is going to be an area that they've got to repel Brisbane, but also an opportunity with Zach Williams coming back to really showcase Carlton's new ball movement, because they were attacking the corridor a lot in training and a lot in them preseason games.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the team sort of shakes out in that back line. Not even talking about the talls. It's that mix of Williams, Newman, Sard, and Boyd Does Newman go back to his role from a few years ago where he's a little bit more accountable, a little bit more defensive? Or are we just going all out on the counter-attack? We know Zach Williams loves it. We know Sard can shut down an opponent, but he loves to have a run. And Jordan Boyd's an interesting one. I'm really excited to see if he can break his way into this team full time, because I think he's at that right age. He's at his second club. He's had exposure with this team, but probably hasn't been permanent. But he looked good in preseason. They brought him in towards the end of the season during the finals there. So Jordan Boyd is probably the wild card. Can he hold his spot, or does he lose it to some tools in a Chincotta or a Cowan or something as the season progresses?
It's a very ostentatious backline, isn't it? When you look at all the boys in the backline, all of them, with the exception of Lewis Young, take the game on. So it's really, Voss has made a statement here saying, I've lost my best defender, but they're not really paying respect on the team sheet to Brisbane. They're saying, look, we're going to go for it, though. Like, we're not intimidated. We're going to take it to you down this back half of the ground.
Yeah, Brisbane have a lot of players in their lineup that can kick goals and take grabs. I mean, we know Eric Hipwood can push up. Joe Danaher, he's dangerous. Charlie Cameron, he's a small. But then guys like Lincoln McCarthy, he's going to kick a couple of goals. He's going to kick a couple of goals every week. So it feels like we're kind of going, all right, we know we are at our core, a defensive side. We don't have our best defensive lineup available. So let's just go all out on the counter and let's try and move the ball along. Let's try and outscore these pricks. I think if I'm Vossi, I think that's what I'm telling them.
Mate, I love it. And I think it's a coming of age. Now, we talked about that. Is it something to be worried about? Like, I look at this and maybe I'm a bit black and white, and I'm with Sayers here. I think you can focus on outs too much. I really do. I think I think it's the worst human trait to focus on what you don't have and lose sight of what you do actually have. But obviously the back line is weakened. I think you'd be a spaceman to say the back line isn't weakened without Jacob Whittaker in there. But I still think Lewis Young on his day can play football, and if he turns it on and finds anything close to early Voss, I always think that when we first got him, it took maybe 20 minutes of Lewis Young to forget we'd lost Liam Jones, didn't it? All of us didn't care.
It's funny. I was thinking about this before the show because we obviously did the teams over at Blue Broad. And I was thinking about it. There was a period there where we were all asking ourselves, and you and I discussed it on shows when Lewis Young first came over, like, fuck, maybe we can play Jacob Wiedering as the loose. Maybe Lewis Young can become the lockdown and we can give some freedom to Jacob Wiedering. Ultimately, that duo hasn't, totally worked out together. But Lewis Young was at one stage vying for that key role in our defense. So he can do it. And I hope, there's no excuse. There's no reason he can't do it tomorrow night. He's had a full preseason. He's played the practice matches. They've trusted him and they've named him. It's up to him. And I'm hoping with the support of the rest of those guys there, he can do it.
I think as well, and I love this comment from Sayers, it's very pacey. And if anything, when I look at Carlton down the back half of the ground, if anything, I look at the makeup and I'm like, Sard's there. No one releases him for the handball. So we've basically got a Porsche that we're driving in the cow shit, effectively. I look at Newman and we know Newman likes to take off. It looks safe. The backline on paper here is basically saying the only way you can defend is playing to your strengths and be attacking aggressive. And I'm with you, Let Dog. We forget this time last year, Fogarty came into the squad midway through the year and everyone had Fogarty written off. He was done. Yeah. He was pushing daisies. He took his opportunity and he owned that small forward spot. What's to say Lewis Young isn't going to be the next Fogarty and go, right, you all think Marchbank's a walk-up start in this side. Nah, this is my job. This is my job. Good luck, Caleb, getting back into the side. And he's got 2-3 weeks to do it. Yeah,
no, I think you're right. I think it's interesting. From a few years ago, if we were bringing players in, it was like a real last-minute roll of the dice. We've got no choice. And if they didn't perform, they didn't get back in the team because, it was just what's the point? We're going to list these guys anyway. Now we're a competitive team. The standards across the board have lifted. So if you're pushing into this team, you have to have some talent. You have to be good, and these guys all have it. I'm with you. I wasn't totally happy with, and I don't want to just focus on Young because Kemp was the same. I wasn't totally happy with what I saw over the preseason, but you got to back the club in to make the right calls, and you got to give them a run, and they're going to have an opportunity to cement themselves. So maybe it doesn't work this week, but every game they play together as a unit in the back six is going to get stronger and stronger. So they've got an opportunity here.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. I think it's an opportunity, and I think that's a big thing. Now, we talked about things that we're worried about. Where are we going to hurt them? Like Chat, Dog, where do you think you look at this team and you say, right, we've got a chance here?
Yeah, it is a great call. They're a very strong side. We've struggled against them of late. I'm hoping, so we're going in with the one ruck and we've gone in with the real pacey team. I'm hoping that's, if we don't look fast with this team, Pom, we're never going to look fast as a football club. I know that's something our fans always talk about. We're not fast enough. We're too slow. This is the fastest human team we could possibly put out there. So I'm hoping we just get him with speed. Obviously, we need to win it at the contest, at the source, as you say, Pom, which we should be able to do. We've got about 6 inside midfielders in this team. We should be able to win it at the source. And then it's just go. It's go. Don't let them get set up in defence. Jack Payne tends to lock down pretty well on Charlie Curnow in the past. We need to move the ball with pace so Charlie can get out on leads, Harry can take marks, and give our small guys an opportunity. I'd love to see a couple goals out of a couple of our smalls.
I think that's a huge opportunity. I mean, Voss has named a lot of small forwards for Carlton, hasn't he? It seems to have, he's really gone the midfield route, but also the forward route. He's shown faith in Owies, who we haven't seen, have we, for God knows how long. It feels for ages. And I feel like that maybe is a sign of things to come, that Voss is looking to go around the stoppage, around the midfield. We saw a lot of rotation, which is something Carlton are probably guilty of being bad at last year. Looks like we're going to get maybe 9 rotations through the midfield. Yeah. But also, he's really gone with that forward pressure and the proven goal kicking of Owies, which, if that's a good or a bad thing, Owies is statistically our most dangerous small forward.
Yeah, no, he is. And he is a small forward, but he doesn't play as a traditional small forward. He's sort of that marking. Tom Papley's obviously a bit more dynamic, but Tom Papley marks the ball. Matt Owies marks the ball. They're not your crumbing forwards, which is probably something we're missing in this team. It might be an Orazio that can do it. It might have to be a David Cunningham that stands up and does it. We probably don't have a clear crumbing forward in this team. That's probably one of the weaknesses of the team. But I'm hoping that the guys can stand up and do it.
I think that was one thing that shined in the preseason. Just Orazio's ability to be front and centre. You saw that quite a lot when he's in the forward line. He doesn't get like kind of convinced to go out the back like some players do or follow the ball. You saw it a few times especially when Harry was nailing the marks, that he was there. So if Harry had made that mistake, Orazio was there first there. So that does hold me a little bit of hope, because how many times last year did we see the ball come in, it hit the deck, it lands at the front of the pack, Carlton are all out the back waiting for a tap on, and it comes straight out the back the other way. That does fill me with hope that is Orazio's strength.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope so. The other one, which I think we'll see hit the scoreboard at least once, will be Sam Doherty. I think he'll rotate sort of that high half forward midfield role. I know George Hewitt is named at high half forward. Don't know if he'll actually start there, but he's named there. I think that's where Doherty's going to rotate. And we know he's got that long booming kick. He's another one who, again, not a small forward, not really a forward, but I think he will be able to score a goal for us. Look, I think if you look at this team, Pom, pretty much everyone who they've put in has the ability to hit the scoreboard in the right circumstances, which I think is to kind of counteract that point that a Motlop type player isn't available. Because, there's a lot of long kicks in this team. Matt Kennedy, he can play as a third tall when he needs to. A lot of the players we've named have had time in the forward line.
Mate, I'm with you. And I do think that is my big area of this football club that needs improving. When when you looked last year at goals, Charlie Kerner 81, then Harry Mackay 29, shocking for a man of his ability. But then Owies and Motlop on 24, and then after that, you're slim pickings. Jack Martin 17, and then you're going all the way down to available players. Silvani had 14, he's obviously not available, but Cottrell, Durden, Akers on 10, and then the midfielders stuck on 9 and going all the way down to 6 and 3. That is where we need the boys, don't we? We need the boys to start chipping in with goals. And that's why I like the Dock at half forward. We saw that trialled. Hamels talked about it. I think Dock and Fogarty could be that beautiful mixture of defence and goals, which we used to see Paul Poppy and Cyril Rioli do. That combination of Poppy was the tackle machine and then Cyril was the goal machine. Feels like Carlton are trying to find that.
Yeah, I think, and we spoke about this a fair bit last year. We're trying to play players that have more than one string to their bow. Where we used to, I don't know how to put this, we used to have a lot of specialists on the list, and let's say we were missing a small forward. Well, instead of bringing in another small forward, we'd bring in a full back, and we go, well, he's the next best player. Now we're bringing in and developing players that can play multiple roles. It doesn't have to be, and when we talk about Doc being a forward, it might be for 10% of the game. It doesn't have to be a lot. Harry Mackay in the ruck, it might be 5% of the game. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I think Vossi is really intent on playing guys that can play multiple roles across a game and work in multiple scenarios. So it's hard to pick who's going to be the ones that stand up because I think they're all capable of it on paper.
Mate, I think they've got to do it. And Paul Hill's donated 5 memberships. You are a legend, Paul.
Wowee.
Thank you very much. You are too kind. Thank you very much, everyone in chat. I agree, Let Dog. I think people say Carlton are one-paced. My argument is I think what you just said there, Let Dog, sometimes we're reluctant to change things up. And that was why I enjoyed the back half of last year and particularly pre-season. We've seen Voss really be happy to shift Doc into the midfield, to put Ollie on the ball, to put Fantasia on the ball. And I think that's where the other teams are impressive. They have another method to beat you where it is kind of one-dimensional from Carlton. You know, kind of close your eyes. You know every centre clearance is going to be Hewitt, Cripps, Walsh. You know it's going to happen. I like the fact that we're trying to be a bit sexier there. And I did want to just finally talk about, you mentioned Brodie Kemp in the defence. We saw Boyd and Kemp be the extra, particularly in the defensive half of the stoppages, and then be that exit kick that got Carlton on the attack. I think this is a huge, huge opportunity because I think Marchbank, I wouldn't say he's overrated, but I think Marchbank is he's got all the facets we desperately need. And I feel like a lot of people are pinning the hopes on he'll be right. And I think they're forgetting Kemp, in my opinion, as a pure footballer, has probably got a higher ceiling than Marchbank because he's quicker, he's got a more dangerous kick, he can play multiple roles. I think Kemp is the one that if he can just find the confidence, you could maybe stop thinking about Marchbank and suddenly Marchbank's fighting for Young and Kemp's got his spot.
Well, I mean, personally, like there's 2 versions of Caleb Marchbank. There's this version we have in our memories of him, of what he could be and the upside that he did have. And then there's reality of what he is just by way of his body. I actually look at Caleb Marchbank as that full-back, maybe lockdown centre-half back player now. I don't look at him as that third tall, peeling off intercept marker. He is a big body player to me now rather than what Brodie Kemp is. So I'm all for investing in Brodie Kemp. The risk, which we saw in the first half of the practice match against Melbourne, is that Melbourne would, and they had a shitload of inside 50s to do it. They were targeting him. Josh Schache kicked goals on him. And Josh Schache, I mean, I don't know if you guys are watching the game right now. Josh Schache is Josh Schache. But as you said, if we can allow him to push up the ground and if we can have it on our terms, I love him as that outlet kick out of stoppages and out of congestion. I think there's a real opportunity for him there to be that really high centre-half back. I guess he's not really a centre-half back, but kind of push up the ground and be that option coming out of congestion. So I think there's definitely upside there. We just need to control the game in a way that allows us to do that. Because if they do get on top and they are able to deliver the inside 50s that Melbourne were, I think one-on-one in defence, we are going to struggle just by way of height and experience.
Mate, I'm with you. I think what people forget as well, and I always say this, Mitch McGovern is taller than his brother Jeremy McGovern, right? And Jeremy McGovern spent his entire career at centre-half back, right? I actually really liked it because people forget Brodie Kemp is 192. Jake Lever is 194. And one of the statistically best transition turnover games was Melbourne's flag-winning side 2 years ago, who played Jake Lever, Harrison Petty, and May in the key positions, with Petty living in the key position at fullback and the other two rotating and taking it in turns. So Cowan's makeup, when Whittaker is there, actually is conducive for McGovern and a Kent to play because it makes it quick and all three of them are good ball users. I actually agree with you. I think people sleep on Kent. And one thing that excited me was McGovern going centre-half back in the fourth quarter, and it allowed Kent to free up. And that could be an option for Carlton to look and go, right, you're targeting Kent, we're putting McGovern there, who's better aerially. Do you want to take that kick on? Or are you going to take it to your third forward where Kemp might beat him one-on-one?
Yeah, look, I think you're right. I think ideally you're keeping Kemp to a third tall. You don't want him to be on the first or second target. And the way you do that, as you said, which I think we've alluded to as well, it's your defensive setup. And you'd assume based on the players we've picked with a really aggressive sort of looking back line that we're going to be relying on our positioning being better than Brisbane's forwards, and we'll tempt some of those kicks into the pockets and stuff. But ideally, we're going to be saying, if you kick it there, Gov's going to jump on it. He's going to give it to Boyd. He's going to get it out of there really bloody quick.
So who's your one to watch, chat and let dog? Who's your one this game? If you were a betting man, you say is the man that can do a Patrick Cripps 2019 and pull us out of the mire and get us home.
One of the great games. I've just got this feeling. I mean, I'm tossing up between two players, if I'm being honest. There's our fan favourite, Georgie Hewitt. But I think he'll do his job, and I think he'll do it well. I think Sam Doherty will be my answer, because I reckon if it gets to a point where we need our goal, I think he's just going to go, right, I'm 55 out, I'm just going to take the shot. And I think he's going to put one through. It's a little bit of poetry playing up there against his old team, a bit of that. But I think Sam Doherty, he has the scope to, and again, multi-positional. He can save us in back, and if need be, he can get the ball in the midfield. But I reckon we're going to see another big goal from outside 50 from him.
Mate, I love it. We've got George Hewitt in chat, so Peter V's pushing George Hewitt's name. I've got a feeling, I was looking at the team, and after I had my tea, I had my steak dinner after I worked with you, Let Dog, earlier. Chera. I knew
you were going to say Chera. I knew it.
Mate, I've got a feeling that Chesney could give us a game. And I've got 30 touches, 2 goals in my head. I think he could have a big game and really say, I'm the goal-kicking mid, boys. Stand back.
I mean, I'd love it. He obviously was beast mode during the middle of the year for us when Sam Walsh wasn't there. Played a slightly quieter role, but I would say arguably just as effective role as a more of an inside player in the back end of the year. And I think he's a great choice. I love me some Chesney. Had a couple of, during the middle of last year, when Sam Walsh wasn't playing, I'm just looking at numbers now, had a couple of games where he hit the scoreboard multiple times. Bob, might be onto something.
Mate, he won me a few bets, did old Chesney. We've got Bam Bam 20 and 3 goals. I don't mind that. I think Bam Bam is that type of man that I think he's one of them players that I call him the cockroach. When you think he's dead, comes back. Do you know what I mean?
He's one of those guys you just don't know. Like, you're kind of surprised if you're lining up against him, but you don't really know what he does. And it's like, oh, wait, he can take a mark. Oh, shit, he can kick a goal. Oh, right.
There's been many a times I thought Bam Bam's career's done, but then he pulls it out. So Arazio says, well, now we come on to something new, right? Something new. I talk about positive energies, right? We've got warrior spell, right? And all the way from the United Kingdom, right, by a good ancestor of mine, he's made us this. So barbed wire. So it's very key because the ancient pagan warriors would have used blackberry bushes. You replace blackberry bushes now with barbed wire. So that's going to be open and out. And what we're doing is a real simple thing. We're going to go through the names of every player who are playing tomorrow.
Okay.
What you're going to say, and the aim of this spell is to empower them. You're going to give one thing in chat that they're good at, or a strength, or a positivity enforcement. And the second thing after that is what they've got to do to win this game. So that could be, we'll start easy, right? We'll start as they are on the team sheet. So who was the first one? Let's have a look. Helps if you actually load it up, doesn't it, that dog?
Brody Kemp would be the first one.
Classic Pom. He's turned it off. Here we are. So the first one, Brody Kemp. So chat, give me your positive about Brody Kemp. As a footballer, could be a human being. It can be anything.
I'm interested to see. I think it's... I think we saw it in the back half of that Melbourne game, and we've seen it at periods last year. It's his ability to sort of, find space. He can find space out the back and makes generally the right decision when he does.
Mate, I'm with you. I like Brody Kemp's attack on the ball. The attack on the ball, it gets him into trouble sometimes, but I love the fact he is always a ball-first footballer. Doesn't care if you're in the way. You're in the way. We've got interceptability, smart. Coach has faith in him. Big body. Okay, use it. I love it. So, next thing, what does he have to do tomorrow? What would your one bit to win the game? Kemp has got to remain composed. I think whatever's happening, as long as his head's up, I think we'll be fine. You know what? Believe in himself. Just back yourself in, broads. Play like Wheaters.
Yeah.
Yes. If he does that, Scott, it's going to be fine. Right, Lewis Young. What do we like about Lewis Young, chat? Let dog. Lewis Young.
Yeah. Lewis Young, he's a very handsome man. He's very, very handsome. He's a big body. He's a bit of he has the ability to be a looming presence in defence.
Mate, Lewis Young, he's been there and he's done it. He's got the experience. He's played big games when it's on the line. He's got the experience. It's not new.
Young is tall. He's got spoiling ability.
That's good. Yeah, he does. He does love the spoil. Does Arlu. Good impacts. I love it. And my advice to him tomorrow is get your hands first to the ball. Whether that's a mark or a fist, the ball's in contest. That ball's yours.
Yeah. I think I'll jump on the back of that. Commit to your decision making. I think in the past we've been a little bit undecisive. Hey, if he doesn't take a mark all day, I don't care if he punches it all day. Let's just have a plan and stick to it.
I love this from Paul. Keep his man accountable. And man up spoil. Does not like being beaten. I love this. See, this is why this is good. Because if he's reading this, and trust me, I've got some messages from players. They do see what we say. This is a world of good. Adam Sard. Easy. No. Adam Sard. Lean, mean, sex appeal. He is everything in that back line. The speed merchant. The danger in the back.
Mate, one giant intercept sort of jump up basketball rejection style per game. He's a beautiful human.
And my advice to him is take the game on. Just take it on. That back half is your playground. Take it on.
I'm with Sars. He's Sard. Play like Adam Sard. That's all you need to do. Just play like Adam Sard.
Pace for days. He's so quick. You know what? Adam Sard, even when Carlton was shit, whenever I used to do his individual player reviews, I'd still smile watching his highlights.
Yep. He's very good.
Zach Williams, I'm going to go with ballsy. He's ballsy. I'm 18 months. His sister passed away. His best mate's wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He did an ACL, and he's still here. Do you know what I mean? We are talking about a man that has big fucking cojones. So, biggest compliment I can give. The guy is unbreakable.
Strong. I think all that would have broken me. He's strong.
And my advice tomorrow, simple: go out and fucking play with a smile on your face. Because what he does, no one else can do at the football club.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Be back garden, Williams. I want him in the garden with his dad and his friends. Blake and Mitch McGovern. You know what? Mitch McGovern's easy. He's the man who changes minds. That's his strength. 5 years ago, people were saying he's a waste of money. Now he's probably the most important piece of the backline these opening games. He is a man that has, I think, stepped out of his brother's shadow.
Yeah. Courage in decision making. He loves to make a tough kick, and he'll always back himself in to do it. And I think my advice for him is just be a goldfish, because I know you're going to take the hard kicks. If one doesn't hit payoff, worry about the next kick.
My advice to him is corridor. Keep
100%.
Just keep hitting that target, and if they're not there, punch a midfielder. You know what I mean? Because we know where it's going. Nick Newman, I think, mine and Leckdog's favourite player of all time, because he is high floor personified, isn't he? Never has a bad game.
No, always plays to the level. I don't want to add to that. I think there's no higher compliment than he's in the level of Jack Nunes in my favour. And what I want from him is to be the leader down back. I know they all have to work together, but I want him to be the voice.
Mate, I couldn't add anything more. Yeah, blue-collar footballer. Like, just you go out there and you order them. You be the lieutenant. And we talked about Nunes. We've got the new Nunes, I think.
Nunesman.
Do you know what I mean?
He doesn't let you down, does he, Nicky Newman? He just doesn't let you down.
He doesn't. But we've got Blake Acres, the new Nunes to us. Do you know what I mean? Me and Letdog love a winger. My strength for him everywhere. He's COVID. He is COVID 2020. Every part of the ground, he's there.
Runs all day.
And my advice to him is, mate, be everywhere. Turn that heat map red.
Yeah, if you need to, gel up your hair a little bit higher than you otherwise would, because, geez, your head seems to get in the way of quite a few important balls.
Acres, brave, sex god. I loved his facial routine on the Besties video. I couldn't believe he had a facial skincare. I was like, there's nothing this man can't do. Nothing. Patrick Cripps, you know what? I think the biggest compliment I can pay Cripps is boy becomes man. Like, he is now speaks, acts, talks, walks. He is every bit the leader of this football club.
Yeah, trusts his teammates.
I think that's the biggest development in him. He literally is Daddy Cripps, isn't he? He's Daddy Cripps.
He is. And
advice is easy, isn't it? Lead.
Yeah, don't do too much.
I mean, get these boys, get behind them, and push them. Push them. Matty Kennedy, you know what? I think Matty Kennedy's strength is he always gives. Do you know what I mean? We play him at halfback. Let's be honest, he wasn't very good, but he gave 110%. You could see he was trying everything he could, and you could tell it on his role. And I think that is an underrated quality at times. Someone that no matter where you put them will give 110%. He is J-Sauce for this year, in my opinion. He's going to put 110% out there.
Yeah, I like it. I think one of his strengths is his versatility. And by that, I mean, he is born and bred an inside mid, and we've got him playing on a wing. He'll play third tall. And he just does it. He just does what he needs to do.
It's good to see. Yeah, tough. I agree with that. He's tough. He's resilient. And my advice to him is take your opportunity. See ball, get ball.
Yeah. Yeah, own that spot. make it a tough decision when guys like Sam Walsh come back.
I'd like to see a bit of selfishness from him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like, this is my time to shine. Do you know what I mean? Bit of selfishness. Georgie Hewitt, this is probably going to be a love fest because I don't think a sentence suits him. But I'll just say this. He is the glue that holds everything together. The most selfless. He sacrifices his game so the rest can have 40, 50 touches.
Yeah, most important player in the team, but won't admit it.
That just FYI, that Hewitt interview with, I never forget having sitting down with Domaku and him saying Hewitt says 2 words all training session, and then I watched that video with Terry and I'm like, yeah, fuck. He wasn't lying. I just thought maybe Hewitt didn't like Dom, but then I realised, nah, he says 2 words. My advice to Hewitt tomorrow is anyone that's not in a blue shirt, you towel them up.
Yep. Don't let him touch the ball. Don't let him do anything with it.
Mate, Charlie Curnow. Jesus. Genius. Genius is what I'd say. A genius. Few players can do what he can do.
Mate, do you remember there was a time there where people didn't know if he would play football again? Like, it was that bad. The injuries were that bad. 2019, 11 games, 0 games 2020, 4 games 2021. Like, it was like, I mean, he's going to come back. He's no good. He's better than he was, and I don't understand how. He's unbelievable.
Mate, he's something special. And like, my advice tomorrow is take the opportunities. We know we're going to get an X factor moment. Just wait, bide your time, and when it happens, bang, take it.
Yep. I know you're going to want to try the little pass off kick, mate, but when you have it 60 out, just put it through. I know you can do it. Just put it through. He's
kind of lost that, hasn't he? And it upsets me. Do you remember that first game he played against St Kilda and it was off one step?
The one step, like 65 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like, bring that back. I want that back. If you're watching this, Charlie, tomorrow, first mark, 65, just have a roost, kid. Have a roost.
Have an absolute shot, mate. That's what we want.
I don't care if it goes into next year as well. Just do it. Show a bit of intent with it. I think Matty Owis is easy. He is the booker of trends, isn't he? Yeah. 3 years, we didn't hear of him. And, you know, when he came in, Bayet, from category B rookie to leading small forward goal kicker.
It's a pretty remarkable story. Perseverance, I think, is one of his strengths, and he's not flashy. He's very technical, by the book, and I think that's a strength of his, is that he knows what he has to do, and he does it. So, what do we want from him tomorrow? Well, we want him to show us that he's healthy, and we want him to kick a couple of set shots. That's his bag, baby.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. That tomorrow, be there. That's what I'd say to him. Be there. He's always in the right place. Sending our love to you, Sandra, as well. You don't have to apologise. Much love and light, my darling. Sending our best wishes. Up next, we've done always Lazio game 100, and I'm going to say it: showtime, baby.
Big moments, and just you're going to have a couple of moments, so just enjoy them.
Mate, my advice to him is prepare your celebration because you're kicking the first snag.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Sleep well tonight and have that celebration for me. Harry Mackay. You know what I'd say about Harry Mackay? Best contested mark in the comp. No one can beat him one-on-one. And that's what he needs to remember. No one can match you man for man.
Mate, he's a bloody lion. He's ferocious, and people are scared shitless of him, and he just needs to understand that. And Harry, don't listen to all the fuckheads going into the game that have been talking about you. Listen to Pom and Leck. Tomorrow's your game. It's your season, mate. Show Charlie that you're the best forward in the game.
Mate, that would be my advice to him. Just fucking, you know what? Just, it's your Gabba. It's your Gabba. Let them remind them this is your Gabba. They defend you.
Yeah.
They defend you.
Love to see Harry and Charlie just go, anything you can do, I can do better. I reckon as soon as Harry realizes that he can, like, you know, he has Charlie's measure, we'll never lose another game.
Hey, I love this. You are a unit. Kill, 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 mate. Just have that hunger. And that's the big thing with Harry. I'm with you. Do you know what I mean? Just be a weapon. Be a weapon.
Yeah.
And Let Dogs predicted there, round 24. Both of them will be on 95.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll definitely both. All right, let's talk about that later.
Can you imagine both of them on 95? Like,
what do you reckon they do? Do they both go for it, or is it whoever kicks the first one, or maybe whoever kicks the second one, they just start feeding him?
Oh, that'd be tough, wouldn't it? I mean,
we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait a while to work it out.
You'd hope the back line there sees a bit of common sense and goes, "Our season's over. Let's just have them. Let them have 5 each."
That's where we come up against North and Clarko fucks us. David Cunningham, mate, miracle, and I'm saying that because he was dead and now he's playing regular AFL football for the Carlton Football Club.
Mate, he's Paul McCartney, isn't he? Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? There's rumours that he's never going to come back, and then he did. The comeback kid, isn't it? And my advice to him is simple. No potential. Just do it. Just do it.
Tackle, pressure, and you'll get the rewards.
TDK, you know what? From Leaping Gazelle to being talked about by Max Gorn himself as his heir apparent. And I think the advice for him is stop talking about it. Just do it now, mate. They're already talking about you. You beat them now. Beat them.
Yeah, I mean, his strength is he can jump over the top of them, and that's what we need him to do to win.
Mate, we love a bit of TDK. I think that's good as well. Yeah, hold your marks. Like, tell you what, he is a 5-mark game away from 200 SC points, isn't he?
Does reminds me of Liam Jones. For years, he just couldn't grab that mark, and then one day it just clicked, and all of a sudden he became a really, really good player.
Great simile, because do you remember Liam Jones when they said they were going to play him in backline? I remember laughing into my beer.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm telling you, Tom DeConnick ends his career in the backline. So that's just a fact. Adam Chesney, your best on tomorrow.
Mate, tell you what, my biggest plus I can give him is a man that steps in. When Walsh was out, he became Walsh. When Walsh came back, there's no ego, no selfishness. He went back to that secondary role, and he's a star power in Adam Chera.
Oh, mate, class. I'll say it.
Oh, no. And you know what? My advice to him is 3 Brownlow votes. You were robbed last year. You know what? You're in the home of getting 3 Brownlow votes for being a very mundane midfielder. Neil gets 3 votes all the time. Out Neil.
Out Neil. I like that. Underrated is his sort of tackling game, Adam Chera. And his hard ball work.
Mate, his defence impregnable when he wants to. And Sam Doherty, miracle is how I describe him. What a miracle.
Yeah, inspiration, however you want to call it, hero. It's just, if you haven't watched him talking with Daniel Gorringe on his podcast about what he went through over the last few years, you're missing out. It's a tearjerker, his story. It defies all odds.
Brian's onto the conspiracy we started, like.
Brian needs to talk to Lockie Jack about the moon being upside down.
Sam Doherty, advice tomorrow, just go out there.
He just has to be there, doesn't he?
Just go out.
He's a beacon of light just by existing.
Mate, go out there. Jordan Boy, you know what? The positivity for him, personality, in a team that everyone is Control-C, Control-V'd, he is the beacon of difference. And it showed, for me, he is everything about being this football team because he's so different to everyone else, yet he's so popular and fits in, and it's what makes our team beautiful.
Yeah, I think, I can't really top that. I'll just say untapped potential. I was a bit, when he first came across, I was a bit, I don't really know where he fits in. We've got all these players, but kudos to him. He's fit himself in. And I think he's primed for a good year. I really do.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. And my advice to him tomorrow is play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. That's all he's got to do. Because I don't think they can handle him. And we come on to my mate, Ollie Hollands. You know what? Tough cookie. He is... his strength is he is a man that has no right inside of the midfield, but he's got a heart of a lion.
He's I don't know. It's Cade Simpson-esque. I don't think that's just because they're skinny, but I think he's got heart. I think he's got heart. What does he have to do?
I might have to speak to him about becoming part of the long sleeve brigade.
Fuck, mate, if he started wearing long sleeve every game,
I might have to pass that on to Ollie because I think maybe he could become the long sleeve hero that we all want. But my advice to him tomorrow is more of the same. Just compete.
Yep. Don't stop moving.
S Club 7. Matty Cottrell, you know what? The people's champion. He is us on the field, and I think that's the best compliment. He is the voice and passion of the fans on the field.
Yep, I think firecracker. That's what he is, and that's what he brings to the team. Celebration. So, yeah, if you get the chance tomorrow, mate, bring out the big Giannis. Give us something to yell about because we all love you.
Mate, that is my advice. Get the crowd going. Get the crowd involved because that is his strength. I agree, says that is his strength. The passion. Bring it. And we finish with Jack Carroll and Fogarty. So Jack Carroll, you know what? He's been patient. A lot of players this young probably would have been trying to be traded, but he's bided his time. He's done his training and he's never complained. And I think that's a great asset because it means he cares. Yeah,
I think there's an opportunity in front of him. Maybe he's the sub. If he is the sub, then it's just energy. Just bring energy. Get involved.
That's it. Be you. I'm with you, Paul. Be you. And we finish with Fog. And the best description I can give him, mongrel. He is a little Rottweiler, isn't he? He ain't pretty. You don't want to pet him. But you know what? He's a little pit bull, isn't he?
You'd be annoyed if he was near you, if you were playing on him. He wouldn't leave you alone. He just hangs off blokes. Tackle. You are the gauge for our pressure.
Mate, he's the metronome. I think that's true, says. Secret weapon. Be the metronome. Well, there you are, everyone. We've done our spell. That goes away now, and it stays until the next time. The boys know what to do. I enjoyed that. I feel good now.
So, me too. I'm amped. I'm zen. Hey, I'm feeling fine.
Hey, it's good. That it's a good little thing to do. Good little thing to do with yourself in the morning as well, chat. Add that to your daily routine. You don't need a bush or anything. Just look yourself in the mirror. Say something you like and something you've got to do, and you'll see some change. But like Dog, 8 times in retirement. I love you. I'm sure I'll try and I want to get you 2 times next week. But
love you too,
make sure everyone goes and subscribes because honestly, Let Dog's probably going to get divorced because of me because he's told his missus he ain't doing YouTube content and Pom keeps bringing him in and it's not fair. But make sure you subscribe to Lexi Does. Tell us what you do over there, Lek.
Oh, mate, I track the models I paint. I've got a whole cabinet behind me and I'm painting a C3PO model at the moment. I don't know if that's coming across, but This is what I do. If you want to see how I do this shit, check it out.
There you are, chat.
Alexi underscore does.
It's easy to find. It's Lek Dog.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. It still is Lek Dog, isn't it? That's easy.
If you mess that up, what have you been doing with your lives? You should know how to spell it now. Do you know what I mean? Not lap dog, Lek Dog. So some people still call it that. But no, go and check it out. Really good content. Lek Dog, as always, it's a pleasure. Chat, as always, it's a pleasure. Shout out Paul Hill. 5 members. You're a legend. Go Blues, and let's cheer them home tomorrow.
Up the baggers.
Up the Blues.